Welcome to the AI Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Every day, I bring you breaking AI news, diving into the implications it has in your life and business. If you're interested in sponsoring the podcast and getting your company in front of thousands of AI enthusiasts every day, there's an email in the description. Finally, make sure you are on the waitlist for the AI Box platform, a tool we are building to allow you to automate virtually any task with AI tools. Find it at aibox.ai. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app, or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. Recently, Spotify has announced and launched some very interesting AI initiatives. We've also heard from some very prominent investors and entrepreneurs talking about where they think and where they foresee Spotify going in the future. Find your favorite artist and have AI literally generate an entire playlist of AI-generated music in the style of that artist. I don't know if you've seen it, but I have been super fascinated this week going on YouTube and looking up AI-generated music by a specific artist. If you go and Google Johnny Cash sings, AI, you're going to find it's like absolutely mind-blowing. They have all these new songs, or they have old songs, and they essentially are just using Johnny Cash's voice. They've trained a model now, and it's singing a bunch of new songs. Now, I think for Spotify, this may be somewhere where this goes. Maybe this is an artist opt-in, or maybe the estate of the artist can opt in to allow people to do this. But inevitably, I see a lot of tools where essentially if you really like a handful of artists and they don't come out with a lot of new music, an AI will be able to be trained and will be able to just generate new kind of hit songs by those artists. I think that'd be super interesting. Maybe if you mix together a bunch of artists and make a song and it goes viral, certain artists will have the ability for you to actually receive royalties from that. I know specifically Grimes, the music artist, has said that she'll split royalties with anyone that uses her AI voice to generate music. So I think there's a lot of really interesting and exciting things happening in music. So today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about Spotify and some of their new AI features they've released and what they've been saying in their most recent earnings call about the implications and integrations of AI into their platform. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So the headline here is that Spotify CEO Daniel Ek, he offered essentially a glimpse into the company's future on their Q2 earnings call today. And he was dropping a lot of hints about the potential applications for AI in their ecosystem. So, we're talking about podcast summaries, AI-generated ads. Ek really talked a lot about more personalization and a more intuitive Spotify experience. So previously this year, they dropped their AI-enabled DJ feature, which essentially gives you a carefully curated mix of music, which is, essentially helped with machine learning, and it has machine learning commentary about the tracks and the artists, and it's kind of tailored to each listener's preferences. I don't think that this will be the last enhancement in AI, and Ek has actually promised that there's going to be a broader application of AI technologies planned to essentially make Spotify a more personalized platform as far as the content goes. So this is what he said about that product in particular. He said, DJ is a phenomenal product. It's probably one of my personal favorites over the last few years that we've developed, and we've seen really strong consumer interactions with it. So I think that we're going to see a lot more of that, where we can contextualize and personalize content across the entire platform to make it more accessible. So again, I don't know if they're going to do the AI-generated artist music, but I think that would be an absolutely amazing feature, an absolutely amazing product. And, figure a way to give the original artist most or all of the royalties. I don't care. I just think the product itself would be pretty incredible. Generative AI, I think, can play a very major role in Spotify's strategy moving forward, including, I think, improving podcast discoverability, which is a long-standing challenge in the podcast landscape, I would know. And if you don't know, I actually release all of my music on Spotify for Podcasters. So I'm very, I have a big opinion on what Spotify's doing. And I think that the integration of AI into their tools would be very, very awesome. I think the application of AI to create podcast summaries could lead to a more robust kind of some more robust opportunities, higher engagement and growth for creators. And I was specifically talking to another podcast creator about this today, and the fact that AI is already doing an amazing job. If you give it the audio of your podcast or the transcript, it's doing a great job at making show notes and summaries and timestamps and social media posts and all sorts of amazing content based off of what you've generated. So I think AI's potential to really streamline Spotify's operations doesn't actually stop there. eKey really envisions a future where machine learning helps in generating audio ads, reducing costs for advertisers while enabling them to experiment with a wider array of ad formats across the platform. This is something that is always a massive pain. We've seen like Google and some other platforms do similar things with ads, but it is a massive pain when as an advertiser, you're like, okay, like I want to get the word out about my podcast or my product or my service or my AI startup or anything, and now I got to go make like ads, and it's just like it's a big process. It costs a lot of money. It's very timely and expensive, and of course, there's a lot of people that are incredibly creative and do a great job, which I think is great. Sometimes you just need something simple to get you started or to test a product or to do something simple, and I think AI could do some really, first off, I think AI can do the really creative stuff very well too. So that is, startling for some people. But even some of the more simple stuff, like absolutely, it would be awesome if I could just say, this is my product, go read my product page and generate a podcast audio ad for it. Boom, done. That'd be amazing. This is what Eek actually said. He said, quote, by using generative AI and our tools here, I think you're going to be able to see that we can significantly reduce the cost that it takes for advertisers to develop new ad formats. And that obviously means that you as an advertiser, instead of having one ad, can imagine having thousands and tested across Spotify networks. So this is amazing, and this is a really big implication he's saying, right? One of the big things is like for Facebook ads, for example, you are going to have one product, but you test new ad creatives all the time. And eventually what happens is, even if you have like, let's say you come up with an ad and it's an absolute banger, this thing just sells off the walls, whatever your product or service is, eventually you reach ad fatigue, where essentially the audience that you're showing this ad to, they've seen the ad a couple times and they're just not interested. They're just not going to click on it. That just happens. Then you got to spend more time and money to make new ad creative, and you have to cycle this thing out every few months or every month even sometimes. Now imagine where you have an absolute amazing ad that's crushing it, and you're able to just use AI to generate 10 variations of the ad that aren't so similar that they'll, just continue along with the ad fatigue, but maybe they understand what about that ad made it sell so much, what about the ad made it, convert so many customers. And essentially you eliminate the entire ad fatigue problem, and also eliminate the problem of having to continuously make new ad creative for a product that maybe the product was great and there's still a lot of people that would be interested in it if they saw it in a different light or in a different way, or it addressed a different pain point, etc. All in all, I think this is absolutely amazing. I think he's going in the right direction with this. I think these, really strategic comments, they arrive on the heels of Spotify filing a patent for an AI-driven text-to-speech synthesis system. So the proposed tech actually converts text to speech, and it also kind of does a lot of really interesting things, including, what people call tonality, but it also mimics a range of emotions and intentions, even whispering or shouting in different accents. So this development suggests that that Spotify's AI ambitions, moreover, really extend a lot farther beyond just its DJ feature that it's released. And I think the potential applications include AI-narrated audiobooks that offer more, natural sounding and listening experience, something kind of like Apple's recent endeavor with some titles on Apple Books. But I think a lot of technologies like that and a lot of technological investments are not without precedent for Spotify, because actually back in 2022, they acquired Sonantic, which is a London-based startup which specialized in text-to-voice technology, and that was an acquisition that now powers Spotify's AI DJ feature. So I think in their most recent Q2 earnings call, they also shed a little bit of light on Spotify's really impressive subscriber count. So with over 220 million premium users worldwide, they had a 17% year-over-year growth rate, and the platform's monthly active users have reached 551 million. That is absolutely amazing. Also, that's pretty impressive that of their active users, half of them are premium. That's, very well done. But I think despite that, they had an operating loss of around 247 million euros. That's about $274 million US, revenue did rise 11% year over year to around $3.5 billion. And I think this also coincides with Spotify's announcement for a price hike for its premium plans. And I think this is absolutely reasonable. If they're adding all these new AI features, all these new AI tools, all these new things, people have to pay a little bit more. And, in addition, we can't keep prices at $10 a month forever, as inflation obviously has gone pretty rampant over the last couple of years. I think it's going to be interesting. We're going to see more software companies raising their prices as well to kind of keep up with that. But in any case, I think they're planning on bumping it to $11 a month from the current $10 a month that it is now, so about $1 up for individual plans. And then I think they're going to bump it to $17 from $15 for family plans. So all of that makes a lot of sense to me, but I think that it is a really interesting time to be watching the music industry. I think there's going to be a lot of really amazing innovations because of AI and everything going on there. So this is definitely an area we're going to want to follow. But one last thing I wanted to say is actually after they announced all of this new AI stuff, and I mean, they announced that they had growth, but because they were not profitable, their stock price still tanked over, I think, 13% or something. So it's not, it's not like growth alone and AI news or AI buzz alone is going to hold that stock price. They really still need to focus on profitability and making sure that they are able to make a profit on this absolutely massive platform that they had. So this is something we'll definitely be following into the future.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. That's the sound of switching your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling. Harness the best converting checkout and same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Stop leaving sales on the table. Discover why millions trust Shopify to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech23.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate us wherever you listen to your podcast. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure to check out our Discord channel and Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast where we can share software, tools, and prompts we're using in AI every day. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.